because it would provide for self-incrimination.
Right. Basically what happens is you're self-incriminating yourself. As soon as it becomes mandatory, you're self-incriminating. You're self-incriminating yourself against a federal offense. And that precludes any kind of mandatory tax scheme. And I've never seen a tax scheme that wasn't mandatory, frankly.
And the fact is, we're not done with our time. And the fact is that responding to marijuana-related crimes is already a big drain on the sheriff's resources. Law enforcement is strongly in favor of Measure-B because it will give them an effective tool against irresponsible growers who endanger public safety or trash the environment. Once the commercial growers understand that they are no longer above the law, we will see a lot less growing in urban and rural residential areas.
I want to say, of course we can tax and regulate. Of course we're smart people and creative. We can come up with a solution. We can tax and regulate abalone in its cellular water. We can figure out what to do here in this county. And if we can create the money, which we could, and just look, for example, at how much money last year was put into the coffers from the dispensaries. $100 million. This was in hearings before the State Board of Equalization last month. How much of that money went back into Mendocino County? Not much, because we don't have dispensaries here. We've made it inhospitable.
That's right. $100 million in sales tax on dispensaries. Oakland, 2 years ago, passed Proposition Z. They're doing it with 65% approval. They're getting millions of dollars in sales taxes. Has Mendocino County or Ukiah City Council done anything to encourage dispensaries so that we could reap the sales taxes by selling in county? I think everyone knows the answer to that. No.
I also want to say that the sheriff did.
It's good. 1 minute, gentlemen? If you want it.
Yes. Many of the people who are working on behalf of Measure-B actually believe that legalization would be the best solution, and then we could tax and regulate marijuana, and our community could benefit from it. Because it is illegal, because we do have federal prohibition, we cannot devise the perfect solution for the marijuana problem. The best solution available to us now is to pass Measure-B with the strongest possible majority, which will put us back in line with state limits, discourage commercial growers, discourage the people who are endangering public safety and trashing the environment. That's the best option available. Please support Measure-B.
Move on. Okay. And this is for both. And you gentlemen started last time? You started last time. I wasn't counting. Yeah, I'm sure. Actually, David was a short term. But this question is directed for both of you. Do you think that the rights of the children and youth of Mendocino County are better protected under Measure-G or Measure-B?
Well, I think there's no question that the rights of the children are far better protected under Measure-B. That's one reason that Karen Wandry, the executive director of the Mendocino County Youth Project, has signed on to our rebuttal argument in support of Measure-B. Currently, we have a situation where children are placed in a very unsafe environment. We heard a story recently. Mayor Holly Madrigal of Willits told her city council and the public how a friend of hers, who was a commercial marijuana grower, was arrested by the police. She was fleeing in the night out into the woods, grasping her children to her. This is a terrible situation to put children in. But because we have this underground economy that's gained some level of acceptance, every day there are children living in this environment subject to being caught up in something they don't even understand. So I think going back to the original intention of the Compassionate Use Act, which was that people would have the medicine they need, will be the best thing we can do for the health and welfare of the children. And also we need to discourage young people from thinking that commercial marijuana cultivation is a career path.
One member of our retired school teacher told me of a class she taught where their class exercise was to write a letter laying out their future goals. Of 10 boys, 9 indicated their goal was to grow pot, drive a big truck, live in a big house, and travel extensively. Becoming a baseball player, lawyer, doctor, welder, engineer, not so much. Now she recommends to parents that they send their kids off to college as soon as possible after high school to avoid the drug dealing culture of Mendocino County.
No, on Measure-B.
Yeah. We're all always concerned about the children, and my attitude would be the biggest priority is safety. Our children, it's a dangerous world out there. There's a lot of bad stuff happening. Marijuana as a drug, far less toxic than alcohol or tobacco. In this community, and in every city in America, we have young people dying from alcohol doses. As a father and as a physician, I'm horrified that we sell lethal doses in a single bottle. You can buy half a pint of hard liquor, that's enough to kill 2 teenagers, and that's happened. In this community, we resuscitated, I'll tell my story, we resuscitate the person, and I said, well, what happened? She said, well, my friends were just taking sips, but I was taking gulps. And overdosed and damn near to die. That's happened several times. We had a young basketball player who died from alcohol. Man, it's a rough world out there. Tobacco addiction is virulent. You start using tobacco, a high percentage of addiction, hundreds of thousands of people die, ruins your heart, ruins your lungs. So we want to do things to keep the children safe, but this doesn't do anything to heighten safety. Mr. McCowan says there is no perfect solution. There is a perfect solution. It's to end prohibition. All of these problems are created by the prohibition of marijuana. The only reason that marijuana is illegal is because it's lucrative for law enforcement. Law enforcement gets a lot of money from the war on drugs. This has been true for 70 years, and we're still struggling with that. There is no doubt that cannabis is one of the safest psychoactive substances known to man. And no adult should ever be punished for enjoying this divine blessing. Notice I say adult. The children we need to keep safe from all of the hazards that are out there, but the adults, we get to pursue our happiness.
Well,
I will assume.
the perfect solution is not available to us because we here in Mendocino County cannot end federal prohibition. It is not within our power to legalize marijuana. By pretending to have legalized it, all we have done is made ourselves a magnet for commercial growers nationwide who have responded to the invitation and have come here in large numbers, increasingly so in the last couple of years. And they lack a community awareness, they lack an environmental ethic. A friend of mine referred to them as the gold rush growers, or the gold rush people. And they have come here to cash in on the big bucks. We suffer the negative impacts from it. So we're not able to end prohibition. The best we can do is go back in line with the state limits and enforce reasonable standards.
I would just add to that, you're not going to get John or I defending federal prohibition. Ain't no way. You just did.
Yeah.
Now, I'm against federal prohibition, but we can't change that here.
Now, 1 minute. Okay. Are we fine?
Well, I just want to say that you did suggest, John, that there were this influx of criminals coming here. And I do just want to mention, and we did talk a little bit about the data, that is that really true? What's the evidence of that? And I want to mention that in last year's 2000 Sheriff's Crime Report, there was 43,500 calls to the Sheriff's Office.